Hi everybody, Lori here for Simon Says Stamp. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got a fun winter-themed project to share with you featuring the new CZ Let It Snow stamp set along with the coordinating dies. This beautiful stamp set designed by one of my favorites, the one and only Kathy Zilski, and I love it, and I wanted to try to, put my own little spin on it. So I'm going to first start by stamping that large, bold snow sentiment. Now, I haven't used this stamp set before, but once I got it mounted on my Misty, just centered it in a panel of white cardstock. First thing I always like to do, especially since this is a bold, it's, when you ink it up, you want to get a good impression. So I take an adhesive eraser and I rub it down all over the whole stamp, those solid letters, and then I clean it. And then I kind of pat it with the palm of my hand to make sure that it's nice and dry. And here are the ink colors I'm going to use. Celery, Spring, Seafoam, and Marine. And these are all delicious, positively saturated inks. So I had an idea. I thought it would be fun to stamp each letter its own color. So I pulled out some, what is this called? Post-it notes? Yeah. The name escaped me. Okay, Post-it notes. And I masked off each letter so that I could stamp them individually. So the first letter S is getting stamped with celery. Now the nice thing about the Misty is you can stamp your letters twice to get a really good, rich, bold impression. So each letter does get stamped twice. You know what I say? Stamp it twice to make it nice, especially when you're using Kathy Zilski Let It Snow stamp set. Okay, so now we're moving on to the N, and I'm just masking off each side. I try to be thrifty and nifty with the Post-it note. Okay, this color is Spring, so you can see I'm working in cool tones. We got the celery, which is a very lime green, and then you've got this kind of minty spring color, and then we'll work our way into the blue. So it kind of, evokes that snowy, you know what, just go with it. You could really customize this any color. You want to do all reds or try to fit in a rainbow, you can do you. You can also just stamp all the letters the same color. So if you go on the Simon Says Stamp website and you look at this Let It Snow stamp set, you can see underneath all the little examples, and there's some beautiful ones. And I just wanted to try to do my own spin. So that's what we're doing here. Now I finished off the W with the Marine. Now there's another stamp that has it's like, I'm not going to say it's a snow globe, but it's a big circular O thingamajiggy with a snowman inside of it. And that is what I'm inking up with Seafoam. And this stamp also includes a bunch of little stars scattered around the sentiment. Okay, and it just nestles right in between the N and the W. And of course, I'm going to stamp this one twice. There's no masking involved on this one. Just a simple little Seafoam, bada boom, bada bing. I love this color scheme. Now, there are additional little, see all this detail stamp that you can add different detail lines and whatnot to the sentiment? I didn't really want to add any more detail to the letters, but in that stamp is a top hat and eyes for the snowman, and that I did want to add, but I just wanted that alone. So I'm masking off everything but the top hat and the eyes, and I'm inking that up with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. Now, VersaFine never lets me down. It never has, and I don't believe that it ever will. You rarely have to stamp that one twice. And then also in that same stamp, there's a little let it sentiment, which nestles right above the snow. And that one just had to go there. Let it snow. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at that. Okay, so I put back on that original letter, the SN. In that is a little carrot for the nose and a scarf. Okay, so I masked off everything but the carrot nose. I'm inking it up with Cantaloupe. If I forget to mention a color that I'm using, all the supplies, the ink colors, stamp set, everything's going to be listed in the description box below. Make sure to check there. And if you have any questions about what colors I use. Now for the scarf, I didn't want it to be too distracting or compete with the color scheme, so I went one shade darker than Seafoam, which I believe is Surf. It's in the same color family, so it kind of like goes with the flow, but yet you can tell the snowman is wearing a scarf. I contemplated a bright red scarf, but I just felt like it would, jack up the mood. Okay, so I popped this panel up onto a fog card base. I'm going to emboss a coordinating sub-sentiment. That's also part of the CZ Let It Snow stamp set. And this one says Merry Days. And I love that it's kind of a scripty font. I like just that little mix and match of scripty with the straight up font. And so I'm going to emboss this one in white onto black cardstock. So pouring on some Simon Says Stamp white embossing powder. I inked it up with Versamark ink. Going to heat that up with a heat gun. And what I love about this, what I really love, is that there's coordinating dies. I love a coordinating die for a sentiment. I put a little bit of foam tape on the back, pop it up right underneath the snowman. Does it need embellishments? No, it does not. Did I add some? You bet your bottom dollar. I added a few little sparkling clear sequins here and there just for a little shimmer shine for the snowman. What do you think? I thought about coloring in that top hat with a black marker. What do you think? Maybe I should have colored it in. I don't know. I like the mood of it. Clean, simple, merry, snowy, Kathy Zilski E. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.
Hi there, I'm Heidi, Simon's mama and founder at simonsaysstamp.com. Thank you so much for watching our video. If you like what you just saw, be sure to press the thumbs up and subscribe to see more great content.